Hey everybody, it's Derek with the Swarm here, bringing you the Week 5 picks assured to be wrong. Last week, going up against Kway, he came away with the victory, going for seven. He went seven correct picks, seven wrong ones. I had six correct ones and eight wrong ones, so living up to the series name. This week, I am lucky enough to have one of my personal favorite attackers, iTzu, the co-leader from Dark Looters, on. How you doing today, iTzu?
Hey, I'm totally fine. Thanks for having me.
Glad you can be here. Thanks for making the time. We'll go ahead. We'll jump into some picks. Just some. The Swarm are supposed to play Reddit Alchemy this week, but as of right now, they're looking for a replacement opponent. That has not happened, so we won't be picking that matchup. And to kind of keep the game going, I won't be picking the Dark Looters matchup effectively, even though I would have picked them. We're going to jump into the first one on the week. We have the 1-2 Tano Bay team taking on the 2-2 Power COC team. iTzu, who do you want to take in this one?
I think I will go with Tano Bay over Power COC. In the statistics, Power COC is a little bit stronger, but I don't know. I have this feeling that Tano Bay can come out on top.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think they're a pretty strong squad. They had a nice showing. I mean, they lost to War Whales, but they had a nice showing up against them. And then they do have to make up that one match up against the Lost, which is why they only got the 1-2 record right now. But I think they're gonna take a nice victory in here. And it's really important with these divisional matchups to get that win because it's like kind of getting an extra half game on your opponent, tiebreakers. So with that one, we'll kind of end the division you guys are in. I'm going to the next one. We have Swamy KitKat and Cold September. Swamy KitKat's 2-2 and Cold September's 1-3. And
Um, I should go again first.
yeah, go ahead.
Okay. On this one, I have the KitKat crew. I think Cold September is a little bit in the rebuild process still, since WHF hooked them up in the family. And yeah, they will be most likely stronger in the later season, but at the current state, I think KitKat got the W.
Yeah, I agree. I think they're going to. Swamy KitKat's going to take this one. I thought Cold September would have a little bit better showing in the week 4 before the bye. They they didn't. I know I picked them. I can't remember off. They played Elite Gaming and weren't able to take that one. And I think Swamy KitKat's one of those clans that continues to get better every week as they kind of get more used to this. I think they're just going to start winning more and more going forward. Next up, we have Faked Wargasm sitting at 3-1 versus a clan I don't know a whole lot about, but I saw they played you guys last week for their first loss of the season. The Lost, sitting at 0-1. They have to make up some matches. I believe they came in for Beast Mode, if I recall. Do you want to go ahead and speak on? I don't know anything about the Lost, so
But the last came really hot into the match against us. They had a really great Town 9 performance. Their Town 10 performance were in the beginning really good. They had, for example, the fresh triple on me as a Town 10. So it went really good for them in the beginning, but then they just went for a really early 11 versus 11 attempt,
hmm
which in the end wasn't the best idea. And they had a 99% hit, 10 versus 10, which they tried to clean up all the remaining war, which did not happen, and that combined with the early 11 versus 11 attempt, yeah, was really hard for them to come close to the score we put up in the ending. So I think they're a really good clan and a really great addition to the league.
hmm
So, but in my opinion, Fake Wargasm is strong as well. They came into the playoffs last season, so it's a really tough match. I think will be really close, but I think I will go with the Lost. Just a little bit upset maybe, but I think they're really strong clans, so I will go with them.
Okay, yeah, they're just from. I mean, I can't remember the guy's name who streams for the Lost.
Monster D
But
face.
yeah, so I was just watching CWL streams 2 weeks ago when they were facing you guys, and trying to pick one. The Lost is my upset pick of the week. Just maybe in record alone, I think they have a lot of talent there for how I was very surprised to see anybody play you guys that closely, especially kind of moving up into this league. They got a nice a nice hard week the first one coming across there. So I was thinking you might have picked fake Wargasm there with how you were talking there at the end, but hoping that'd be one of the ones we were different on. Anyways, we'll go into to the next one. We got PWC at 2-2 versus Annihilate at 1-3. Uh, you had a couple of the first ones. I'll go ahead and I'll take this division. I'm taking PWC here. As I say, I got friends there. I kind of want to root for them because of that, and I hope they do well. They have been pretty inconsistent, like kind of just not sure which PWC you're gonna get, but I think they're probably taking this bye week to get things more organized, and I'm sure like Holy Buck and Jamie have them worked out to get to 3-2 in this week. Who do you want in this one, iTzu?
I think I have to go once again with you, with the PWC crew. I have as well some guys in there as well. For example, Black Tiger with one of his accounts. So yeah, I think they will get away with the victory in the end. And yeah,
Yeah, they're good. I think a lot of people expected maybe them to be sitting at 3-1 or maybe even 4-0 in certain circles this season, but they haven't always lived up to that every week. I'm hoping they turn that around. Another squad that's kind of surprised me lately in this next matchup is we have the 3-1 division leading Emphatic Elite squad up against the 6 Schlitzes squad sitting at 2-2. I haven't really liked what I've seen out of 6S the last couple of weeks. They looked really strong coming into the season in the first week or two, and then they had I believe it was a bad loss to Mariana Trench. Yeah, Mariana Trench this last week. I'm going ahead and taking Emphatic Elite. I think they're kind of surprising people, and I think they'll do at least just enough to get this done in a very very close one here, maybe just by like on percentage or a star victory.
okay. So this will be the first one where I will take a different pick because I will go with 6 Schlitzes. Just because I think, if I remember correct, the Emphatic Elite crew struggles sometimes with their drips. For example, in the Onehive War the last playing week, and this is kind of important, especially if you want to be in the top of the league.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would go with 6 Schlitzes in this match.
I can't fault you there. I certainly think that's a good one. I was picking up some of these today when I was making them. I was trying to be like, well, what would be a little bit different at least to get some, because some of the records here are definitely like one sided. So next up, we have. I know a clan you're looking forward to facing, and I believe from a podcast, if I'm quoting it correctly, the clan you're looking to facing in the conference finals, Onehive at 3-1 versus 1-3 Midwinters team. Uh, who do you want, iTzu?
Yeah, I will go with Onehive. I think they're a really great team and one of the best teams in the Barbarian King Conference. So yeah, like in the podcast already said, I'm looking forward to face them in the playoffs. And yeah, I think they will win against Midwinters.
Yeah, I also am taking them. I think they're in two different kind of stages. Midwinter seems more in that little rebuilding stage that a lot of pretty much every clan goes through at some point or another, and then One Hive is kicking on all cylinders and getting stronger every week. They had the one bad showing up against you guys' sister clan over there at DLZ, but I don't let that deter me from realizing that this is a very talented squad. Anybody can have a bad week. And I think they'll go ahead knowing that it's a divisional matchup and they come away with a very decisive victory. So in the last matchup, the Barbarian King Conference, we have Mariana Trench at 1-3 versus a 2-2 Concha squad. Go ahead, take it away, iTzu.
Okay, I think these are the both teams I had nearly all of my false predictions on. So either way, I should be right in my opinion or not. We will see. So this time I will go with Kancher, just because I think, like you said, with another clan in the beginning, they're a clan like they're getting better and better as the progression goes on with the league, and they had a really good showing in the last few weeks. So yeah, I think they come away with a victory. On the other hand, Mariana Trench is struggling a little bit in the path, so really hard to predict which Mariana Trench will show up.
Mm-hmm.
But overall, I will go with Kancha.
Yeah, I'm also taking them. I think it helps. They do those wars on like U.S. time on Friday nights. I guess that's typically I get early Saturday morning. I think for you guys or very late Friday night over there in Germany. But I think that helps them a lot. Like it gets a lot of teams off their normal cycle of when to do things, and that kind of helps with that. They've also have two very big victories up against a WHF squad that have been a pretty big fan of this season, and PWC, who already admitted I'm a big fan of today as well, and they were able to take those victories away. And just like you said, they're getting better every week, and I think they'll go ahead and break over that 500 mark, get to 3-2 with a victory over Mariana Trench. Now moving over to the Archer Queen Conference, we have one of the three 4-0 teams in the league, War Whales, taking on Bye Forever. Bye Forever sitting at 2-2. Um, I'll start these ones off. I think it's War Whales, and I don't think it'll be close. I like Bye Forever, but I think they're kind of just not up to that level of a War Whales. And in fairness, not many clans are. You know, and probably count the number of clans that are would be able to kind of compete with them on one hand on a given Sunday. Um, anything or who do you want to take in that one? Any?
Yeah, I will go with Warblades too. We have a lot of friends over there and call each other as extended family. So yeah, they're a great team and insanely good. So nothing more to add. I will go with Warblades too.
Yeah. Next up, we have the 0-4 North Remembers team versus the 3-1 Immoral Thieves. I'm taking Immoral Thieves in this. I was very impressed with their kind of early season. I know they had the loss to Elite Gaming, but they did beat Spartans Legacy, who I'm really, really high on. And forgot who they had, but I know they had that 9v10 triple. So I think they're just going to be able to get it done. I think it'll just be too much for North Remembers. And it really pains me to have to say that, but that's just what I think right now.
Yeah, I will have to go once again with you. I think the Moral Thieves are really good at the current moment, one of the top cleans to look for. North Vietnamers are still in the rebuilding phase, I think, since they lost few of their key members to Warwales in the off season. So yeah, Removal Thieves will come away with a victory in the end, yeah.
Yeah. All right. Let's you start off with these ones. We have Spartans Legacy at 3-1 versus Bada Bing Clan at 1-2.
I will go with Spartans Legacy. In this one, I always had a lot of respect for the guys over there, and I think the war in the playoffs against them were one of our most hyped war in the history of our clans. So it was really intense, and they're really good crew. So yeah, they will come away in the end with a victory.
Yeah, I agree. I think they're one of the clans, not just in the Archer Conference to compete, but in the entire league that is one of the short lists to make a finals here, and I think they'll go ahead and uh, really take this one away. I think almost kind of anybody they pick coming off of bye week, coming off of a loss, uh, they're going to kind of be ticked off and want to put somebody, give somebody else a loss this week. And unfortunately for Bada Bing Clan, they're in the sights, and I just think that Spartan's Legacy is going to take this one. And like I said, I think it'll be a pretty decisive victory just based on motivation alone. So next up, we have 1-3 Killer Bunnies, my favorite team name in the entire CWL versus the 1-2 Onehive 2.0 squad. Who do you want in this one, iTzu?
I will go with Killer Bunnies. We faced them last week before we went to Berlin. We had at the weekend a event over there as a clan, and few of our guys already were in Berlin, so it was a not perfect war for us, but nonetheless they performed really well. So of that performance, I think Killer Bunnies have a good shot at the victory. And Onehive, let me check. I think, yeah, they had really hard opponents in the last few weeks with war raids, and yeah, I think Killer Bunnies will take it.
I was really hoping this would be one I would have had a different one than you on, because I took the Killer Bunnies as well. So my reasoning are, I just think they have a really cool name. So I don't. This is kind of one that I was a toss up on, and I was wrong and picked against them last week. So I'll show them a little bit of love and pick them this week. And of course, if they lose, I will get a ton of comments and messages saying, "Don't ever pick us again." And that'll see how that one goes. So the next one up would be the Swarm. It was supposed to be versus Reddit Alchemy. They're just looking on a replacement clan. So at the time before we hopped on here, I checked if that had been found out. It hadn't yet. Uh, so we won't be picking that one. It would be up against a mystery clan, so I don't want to insult anybody or do anything like that since we wouldn't even know who it is. So we'll jump down to a matchup that I'm a little surprised at the records. I think both of these teams are better than their 1-3 records would say, and that's War and Glory versus North Watchers. I think if you find two teams that are 1-3 that have, I think you'd find very few teams that are 1-3 that have more talent than these two squads do. I'll go ahead and start this one off. This is the one. Normally I do all my picks before we get on, so I can kind of just like read my list and make my little comments. I hadn't picked this one yet. I'm gonna take Watchers in this one. I think they've just been doing very well at 10v10. They've struggled on their 11v10 dips, which, as you know, just as you were saying earlier, you have to be pretty much flawless on those to be one of the top teams. But luckily, I think that's an easier problem to fix than trying to find really good 10v10 people. So I think they'll get that sorted out, and I think they'll improve to 2-3 after this week.
So we got our second match where I will pick a different clan and I will go with War and Glory. I think they will be really hungry for the victory since they had a bye week and a loss before that. So they will be coming hot into this match. And as long as I noticed that correctly in the family chat, while the DLC and the War and Glory match, they had really good bases.
Mm-hmm.
And especially their Town 11 bases were really great. So I think that will be a difference in this match. And yeah.
Man, I feel like I should have talked to you beforehand. Now you're making me really second guess this one. I'm like, oh, I don't feel so confident in that anymore. You're really talking them up. If they need a hype person, I think War and Glory should come talk to you. Get everybody to start applying there. Finishing out the Archer Queen conference, we have Reddit Omega and WHF. Reddit Omega's 3-1. WHF is 2-2. Take it away.
That's a tough one. I think in the beginning I would have said in the beginning of the season I would have said WHF, but after the last few matches, now I will go with Red Omega. They put up a good performance out of the last few wars, and I think WHF struggled a little bit. So yeah, we go with Reddit Omega as soon as their 10 versus 11 game is on point.
Yeah, that's going to be, I know that was an issue for them in their win up against Watchers last week. I believe they didn't even clear all the 11s. It was, and they used a ton of attacks. I'm not sure offhand. I want to say in excess of like 13 or 15 or something. But I'm also taking Reddit Omega. I just think that even 2 weeks ago, or I would have probably picked WHF, but they've kind of just not performed in a couple of the matches I thought they would be. I thought they'd would have won. I can't. Who was it that I believe it was. I expected them to beat Conso in week 3, and they didn't. And I kind of see Reddit Omega as just one of those little bit better clans, so I think they're gonna take that one and get a victory. In the last matchup of the week, we have Dark Looters Z or Z, depending on if you're Canadian or not, and at 4-0 versus the 1-3 Tactical Links team. I have a feeling I know who you're going to take in this one, iTzu. And if not, I think you're going to make a lot of people mad in some of your chats.
Yeah, well, I will go with Dark Looters Z. Nothing, not much to talk about that. They are an incredible good clan. I think not a lot of guys know them before the season. We faced them in a couple of random wars, a couple of intern clan family scrims, so we know how good they are. And well, they just want to prove themselves, and that's what they are doing right now. So DLZ, we take this one.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think DLZ is 4-0 for a reason. They beat Onehive, they beat Watchers. I don't remember their other 2 victories. And I just think they're a better, like one of the better squads here. I think certainly a surprise to a lot of people at how good they are. I think everybody thought they were pretty good, maybe not as good as they are playing. And I'm sure they're happy to continue to prove everybody who thought that wrong. And I think they'll go ahead and get to 5-0 after this week. Yeah, I'll go ahead now and throw up the picks for that we each did. Itzzu, is there anything you want to say before we sign off?
Once again, thanks for having me. It was a great time over here. And yeah.
Hey, thanks for coming on. I really appreciate it. The pleasure was all mine. I'm super happy I got to talk to one of the people I truly respect and look up to. Like I said, I've told you before, I watch all your 11 hits to learn how to play my 11 a lot better. So thanks for coming on. It's greatly appreciated.
Thanks.
Until next time, guys. See you.
Yeah.